I was just asked a great question from Border Beach in one of my recent videos where I'd like to know what set range I use for most of my coaching clients, whether they're training a muscle group 1 time per week, 2 times per week, or 3 times per week. He'd also like to know if there's a certain training volume that my clients have been most successful with. Now, what I really love is that he took the time to share his personal experiences, what he's found works best for him. When he's training a muscle group 1 time per week, what he finds works best for him is working it with 4 to 6 sets in that workout. When he's training a muscle group 2 times per week, he finds working it with 2 to 4 sets per workout or 4 to 8 sets per week is best for him. Now, what's really interesting is that he's found he can't train a muscle group 3 times per week. Even if he's only doing 1 set per muscle group per workout, he just finds it's not enough time to recover between training sessions. And now I'd love to hear from you. What are your personal experiences? What set ranges do you find work best for you when you're training a muscle group 1 time per week, 2 times per week, or 3 times per week? So please take a moment to share your personal experiences down in the comments section below. Now, for the past 4 years in the Lose Fat, Get Jacked Inner Circle, where the members are following the exact same workout plan that I do each and every month, the set range I've been going with when we're working a muscle group 1 time per week is 6 to 9 sets. For the most part, we're rolling with 6 sets for the major muscle groups, so the chest, the back, the quads, the hamstrings. But every once in a while, we're going to push it to 9 sets, just kind of test our limits, to kind of challenge ourselves even more so. But what we found is like those last 3 sets, the quality just isn't there. Even if it's just like a machine fly or a cable fly where it's not like so physically demanding, we just don't have the resources, the strength, the mental focus to really give the best of ourselves to those last 3 sets. So we're not kind of getting as much out of those sets as we were the first 6 sets, but still we're getting a little something out of it. And knowing that it's just temporary, it's just for 4 weeks, and we might do that twice a year. The rest of the time it's closer like 6 or 7 sets for the major muscle groups in those workouts. It's still good to challenge ourselves every once in a while and then pull it back there. For the smaller muscle groups, the biceps, the triceps, the shoulders, we're hitting them with 3 to 4 direct sets. The rest are getting secondary stimulation from the chest and the back as well. When the set range when we're working a muscle group 2 times per week is 3 to 5 sets per workout, so 6 to 10 sets for the week. And if you want to see an example of a training plan where I'm using 5 sets, so kind of pushing our limits per workout, 10 sets for the muscle group per week, I'll include a link down below in the description to the Lose Fat, Get Jacked workout guide, which will walk you through a lot of what the evidence shows is best for designing a workout plan. But you're also going to get a free 4-week training plan in there as well, which is an upper lower split where we're working the major muscle groups with 5 sets per workout. So twice per week, you're going to train the major muscle groups with 5 sets. For the smaller muscle groups, the biceps and the triceps, 2 to 3 sets of direct training work, knowing that they're getting some secondary stimulation from the chest and the back workouts there. When we're training a muscle group 3 times per week, the set range I roll with is 3 to 4 sets for the major muscle groups and just 2 sets for the smaller muscle groups there. Sometimes, like if we're doing, usually it's a full body routine, there might even be a workout where we don't train the biceps and the triceps there. We're just focusing more like direct work there because they're going to get worked with the chest and the back there. So we're focused more on the major muscle groups in that one particular workout. And then we'll stimulate them again with direct work in the other 2 workouts there. So 3 to 4 for the major muscle groups when we're training it 3 times per week. 2 for the smaller muscle groups when we're training it 3 times per week. So that's what I've been rolling with for the past 4 years. For the 10 years previous to that, I was designing my workout plans based on what the evidence showed, which is 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week. Now, the interesting thing is, like with the structure that I just shared, those workouts usually take about 45 to 60 minutes. And that's like half the volume of the 10 to 20 sets that I was doing for the 10 years previously. So those workouts were lasting like anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours in order to get the kind of volume that the evidence-based community said was best for building muscle. Yep. The interesting thing is, all the research shows that the 10 to 20 sets is best is only focused on one muscle group at a time. So it's kind of like specialized training. You're going to do 10 to 20 sets for one muscle group, but you're not doing it for all muscle groups. We don't have any research that has showed we're working every muscle group with 10 to 20 sets per week is best. We don't have any of that. So it's really interesting that the evidence-based community said like, this is what we need to do. It shows like more is better kind of thing. Yet we don't have the evidence to support that. So what have my clients been most successful with? What have I been most successful with? I guess it depends on how you define success. Like when I was doing the 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week, everyone seemed to be recovering fine. The fatigue, sure, was accumulating, but we seem to be handling it quite well. And there's some people who just love to be in the gym. At that time, I was training with workout partners who thrived from just being in the gym all the time. We loved the camaraderie. We just loved hanging out together. So what I found, like whether like what's happened in the past 4 years with like the 6 to 9 sets that we've been doing, or 10 to 20 sets for the previous 10 years, muscle growth, exactly the same. No one has experienced any difference in muscle group, whether they're doing more volume or less volume. The joy or the success would come from the people. If the muscle growth is going to be the same, I'm just going to do more sets because I love the stimulation. I love spending more time in the gym, being around the camaraderie and all that. So that's success to them. Whereas like others are like, man, like I'd much rather, if the muscle growth is the same, I'd rather do fewer sets. So now I can get into the gym in 45 to 60 minutes. I don't have to spend as many days in the gym, and I can do more activities. Like for myself personally, I'm doing more yoga, I'm doing more calisthenics. Like, so I have more time to work on handstands and hand balancing poses. I can get out on the paddleboard more, walk more with family and friends, and just do more activities to really improve my overall well-being, more time for mobility and flexibility, and just things that are going to allow me to really thrive in so many different ways. Whereas if I'm spending 90 minutes to 2 hours in the gym 6 days per week, it doesn't allow for much time to do other things that are going to improve my overall health and my overall well-being. So success is going to be very individual. But like I said, muscle growth, there's been no difference across the board. But it's very, very interesting that once I dialed back that volume from 10 to 20 sets per workout, per week, I should say, 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week, to 6 to 9 sets per muscle group, or really 12 sets if I'm going to be doing 3 full body workouts per week, and we're doing 4 sets for each muscle group per workout. That's 12 sets is kind of the max that we'll hit for a muscle group per week. When we dialed it back to that kind of volume, a lot of the members were like, holy smokes, like all this time, like, have I been doing kind of like unnecessary volume? Like, why was I doing so much? I could be doing all these other things and getting more joy out of the experience. Like we all kind of noticed, like, although we felt like we were recovering from that training volume, once we dialed it back, we're like, you know what? I feel a lot less fatigue. There's a lot less kind of strain on the joints, the tendons. We are truly recovering better. Even though we could do the workouts, even though we're making progress in regards to strength gains, some muscle gains there, fatigue was still accumulating there. So I find that most of the clients, most of the members of the Lose Fat, Get Jacked Inner Circle, myself personally, prefer this lower training volume. Now it's really interesting to hear that Boulder Beach, like the 3 times per week, you just can't recover from. Everyone is different when it comes to training volume as well. We had a great conversation. So we did a full body workout back in April. Carrie was one, like some of them were like, I'm like, how many days per week? Some people were following the full body routine 4 times per week. Most of us were 3 times per week. Some were trying to push it a little bit more, 5 times per week, just to see what can we recover from when you're only training each muscle group with 3 sets in a workout. And I know Carrie did like 3 days in a row at one point. Like she did a workout, felt really recovered the next day. She's like, you know what? I feel like training. I'm going to do it again. Recovered great. 3rd day, you know what? I feel great. I'm going to train again. See how many days I can kind of push this. This is awesome. Then the 4th day, she's like, oh, whoa, it's caught up to me at this point. So it's like, sometimes we like to challenge ourselves. We like to think we're recovering, but that accumulation happens over time. So sometimes it's just best to kind of spread things out a little bit better and manage the fatigue a little bit better. But there's others who like 3 sets every other day with the full body routines was a challenge. They were experiencing that kind of muscle soreness. And it did take at least that 48 hours to recover between training sessions there. So We're all different, and I find that with training volume, everyone is different, but I do find for the most part, anywhere between like 6 to 12 sets for the major muscle groups and anywhere from like 2 to 4 sets for the smaller muscle groups per week is best. How you split that up throughout the week, whether you're training a muscle group 2 times per week or 3 times per week, it's kind of up to you there. And again, paying attention to recovery. Like Border Beach said, like even though you're splitting up that training volume across 3 workouts, it's still, he wasn't recovering from that. Whereas others will be, oh, this is freaking fantastic. Like just a little bit of stimulation each workout, I'm recovering incredibly well from that. I prefer to train more frequently because it's better for recovery, whereas others prefer to train less frequently. It's better for their overall recovery. So we are all different for the most part, which is truly fascinating, which is why it's so important to share our experiences, what we're finding works best for us, just so it can kind of open up other people's eyes. Maybe they're doing too much, maybe they should dial things back, but then you also see the individual differences to like have an open mind that we all do respond a little bit differently. So I hope you found value in this kind of conversation. I know there's no like singular best answer here, but there's a big reason why the past 4 years I've dialed back the training volume. First of all, time efficient, 45 to 60 minute workouts, like 4 times per week. It's freaking awesome. 3 to 4 times per week, kind of find works best. And it allows you the opportunity to incorporate other activities, other things to really allow you to thrive, to bring out the best in you. And that's really what it's all about, a more holistic approach. Doing more than that, again, like I said, no extra muscle gains unless you just love being in the gym. You don't want to do any kind of other things. You could give 2 craps about your mobility, your flexibility, your cardiovascular health, or you could care less about doing any kind of calisthenics or hand balancing poses. All right, all the power to you. Like spend more time in the gym knowing that, all right, it's not going to contribute to necessarily more muscle growth, but you're getting more value out of it because you just love the camaraderie. You love being in the gym there. We're all different. You got to be, this is your journey. It's all about you, what's best for you.